deal with a lot of predators. There's a lot of people out there that look for any excuse whatsoever to hurt people. And they usually choose somebody that they can get away with hurting. Either through size or reputation, finances. Neurotypicals really enjoy squashing people. It makes them feel good. They get off on it. It's like a drug. Controlling others. Making empty promises to get people to do what you want them to do. And they're not able to do what you want because they spent all their resources doing what you wanted by themselves. You made them do it by themselves. So you got no fucking clue what actually happened in the situation because you weren't there. It's horrible. And that Wolnaz feller, he ain't the only person who's been predatory towards me here. I've probably had over a dozen crimes committed against me just here in this parking lot or against my property over and over again. I don't know how many people have screamed out the N-word or other things. They just love the living hell out of it. And it's absolutely not necessary. I'm not a hateful person, but there are things that are worth being hateful over. You don't touch kids. You don't take advantage of disabled people. Those are both pretty simple rules. Somebody just eyeballing me walking by, staring real hard. I don't know who it is, but like somebody with a beard. Kind of looked like Mr. Wolnaz. This time all he did was stare low. Well, that ain't something that I'm gonna go fucking beating the living hell out of somebody for. That's not something I'm gonna shock somebody for or spray him in the face with something for. I know Andrew Wolnaz. I know his name. I've even got words of other people that were his victims. See, that's the thing. Usually by the time I'm telling them about these predators, they've already done this to multiple people. So finding other victims of theirs is easy. A lot of people pretend that I deserve to be abused because I record. If people didn't abuse me, I wouldn't need to record. Oh God, I fucking hate the hate truck. So some of y'all who pay attention to my channel know that I'm allergic to alfalfa. We're in cattle country here. A gentleman and I today was speaking about he's got a kid on the way, and the lady he was having a kid with is already talking about getting a horse. He said, well, let's settle down here and get a house first. Yeah. There's a guy here named Jay. He's pretty tall and he showed up more than once at very inopportune moments for people who thought they were going to victimize me, and he was big enough to run away. Not literally run, but a lot of them were people who aren't allowed to be here because getting all fucked up on drugs and vandalizing for some of them. Some Some of them for stealing. Some of them for getting drunk and bullying people out on the sidewalk. There's Mary, who is always very nice to me. Sometimes she's not in the best of moods. We've all had those days. Christy is very nice, and I've gone to her a couple of times. She said that if there's an issue, to come inside of the store, and if it continues in the store, then they can do something about it. Malcolm also said the same thing. There's a lot of people who are real super nice, like Cynthia and Candy and John, Paul. Joe's super nice too. Pretty much everybody who works at Starbucks is super nice. There's a new girl that I'm not trying to be friends with her or anything like that. I just hope she opens up. Not to me, but as a person. You know, a lot of people, they're real pleasant and they talk real nice. And that does make things simpler. Miss Shirley is always a sweetheart. Always. She's direct, which is helpful. John is direct, which is helpful. Bullshitting me isn't going to help anybody, least of all me, because you're busy trying to bullshit me. I'm busy trying to figure out what the fuck you're saying. If you're direct with me, that's easy for me to understand. If the rules are always the same, that's easy for me to understand. If the rules are continually fluctuating, or the rules are different for others than they are for me, that's when I don't understand. That is especially when I don't understand. Now I record this stuff, I show you what it's really like. One of the things that's a major issue now is that the jobs that the police were supposed to do, and that the mental health place, and the senior and disabilities place, the things that they were supposed to do something about, they didn't care. They took advantage of my disabilities and bullied me for having them. They push an autistic person to have an autistic meltdown and then victimize us for having an autistic meltdown. Pretty standard procedure when you start telling on cops. Pretend that you're psychotic or you're having a psychotic episode. No, you're having a mental fucking breakdown from goddamn abuse and neglect. It is not the same thing. I go in, I got a little bit of money now, out of my card, but I didn't make shit yesterday, didn't make shit today, but I did get fed. I do have a little bit of money that I can spend on something to eat. I mean, it ain't like, I'm walking around with 10 million bucks. I'm gonna buy myself a hotel room for the night and eat myself caviar and shit like that until 2 a.m. But it's enough to get something to eat, Get something warm too. If I get in there fast enough, they might still have some warm corn dogs or something in the deli. I'm gonna drop my phone. I hope not, but it could happen. Anyway, my phone tends to die on me or disconnect the moment I go into the building here. There's Miss Miriam. Every time I've either found drugs on the property or anything of that nature, I've gone to, just by default, most of the time to Miss Miriam because she's the one with the customer service counter. Krista, usually when something's going down, I go and talk to her. I can't be having people harming folks. That includes myself. But if people are going to harm somebody, I would rather it be me than somebody else, for certain. You're alright. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to scream out in pain once I went in there. Or huddle up in the corner and rock back and forth. I don't know my. Miguel, the night that some youngins was throwing pumpkins at me, going over there with a shopping cart and at least picked up the pumpkins, which is nice because I wanted to bring them back, but I couldn't pick them up. And he pushed the cart all the way over there, picked them up, and ran away. Better go get me some dinner. I'm not as pretty as I was yesterday, thank goodness. I woke up with an extra gray hair and an extra wrinkle, so I can fool the youngins into thinking I'm wiser than I really am. Tomorrow's my 43rd birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Happy unbirthday.
Or happy unbirthday, yeah.
And happy unbirthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Could I get $3 worth of mashed taters and gravy?
Okay.
Very good. Yeah, I got assaulted today, but Malcolm coming to my rescue. Yo, not trying to accuse him of being a superhero, just a Boy Scout. I'm not sure easier if you do this, but I literally can't hear you over that and the machine over there.
Oh, we were whispering to each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about you in front of you, sir.
Well, how dare you?
I know.
Yeah, sometimes, like, people try to convince me that I'm crazy. So once in a while, I have to test the water and I go, all right, I heard somebody's voice and it sounds just like her voice, but just little tiny parts of the sound. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have a good day. Stay safe.
Thanks, sir. Better for him.
And I'll get you some napkins. Take another extra one just in case you drop it. You have a good night. Stay safe.
Rock.
Welcome. If you have your club card, please scan it now. Scan items one at a time, placing them in the bagging area after each scan. For items without barcodes, if you have your club card, please scan it now. Please continue scanning.
Some chickens don't look away.
Your card has been accepted.
Of course it would be.
How many store-provided bags did you use today?
I buy one.
7. Your total is $2.84. Please select your payment method.
Money.
Please insert coins, then insert bill. Please wait. System processing. Please remember to take your receipt and all of your change.
Have a good
If
night.
you have your card, please scan it now. Scan items one at a time, placing them in the bagging area after each scan. For items without barcode, touch the quick pickup button.
What's out there? Okay, I'm getting my stuff.
Scan items one at a time, placing them in the bagging area after each scan. For items without barcode,
Thanks for having me. sure if you know, I do fish a lot. I'm indoors and around people. I do try my best to give lessons if possible to them. I don't like behind from being missed. I sure do yield a lot of it though. Alright, Kitty's gonna cross. Now or never. There's that cat crossing the road. I wish the video quality on this was nicer. Oh well. Right side the kids need it on the way to the car. And cat's walking in front of it already. Well, they got a pretty large, some sort of big old trail of smoke. I forgot to ask if I could use the bathroom while I was in there. So I'll have to walk back over there. Of course, I better try to get a little bit of charge from the vehicle. That Gary feller, he messaged me and said well, obviously he didn't make it today. He didn't give me an explanation. I don't really need one. He asked me where about my storage was and asked if we could meet there tomorrow. I'm totally down with that. Or he could message me when he gets to town. Or he could tell me what time he plans on being here and I can go there. One thing I'm tired of though is people suggesting violence. That scares the holy hell out of me. Oh my god, did she give me a whole chicken? 1 pound, 6 ounces of chicken. Oh my god. I better find a home bum to feed tonight. Wow. However, what I'm breaking into first is mashed taters and gravy. Oh my god, I have been craving mashed taters and gravy. I do prefer them the Brandon Jepson way, but life happens, you know. The way they make it here is pretty friggin' dank too, so I'll accept it. Oh my God, yes. That is some fucking dank grub. Of course, I know that once I go to the places where they feed homeless, there's a good chance that I'm going to run into somebody who's predatory towards me. And I don't like that. I don't think anyone should like that. After I left Virginia, Natalie Bollinger went back to her abusers because they were familiar. And they wanted to project onto her that I would be like them. But I'm not, am I? These adults wanted to keep secrets. I don't see how secrets do any of us any good. It just teaches us to be sneaky. Sneaking. What are you doing? Sneaking. Right? You like my shitty Smeagol voice? Natalie Bollinger said who it was that committed those crimes against her. I've also verified it with other of her friends and family. I also recorded it, the poor dumb son of a bitches. Yeah, I may not have had the ability to do that before Natalie was killed. I needed help with everything. I'm not a computer dude, and I'm not great with that shit. I even needed help making my own email. However, once people empowered me with those things, I used them. I used those tools to the best of my ability. YouTube, Facebook, email, Gmail. Oh, you guys talk about what you would do if somebody hurt your family, threatened your family. You haven't done those things. The things I said I'd do. I said I'd expose those people. And I'm proud of myself for doing so. Here in Tillamook, we got homeless people that whack off naked in the bushes. Seriously. Here in Tillamook, we have the same crimes that are committed in big cities. We got a KKK following here, similar to what they have in Chapel, Nebraska. Except that there are actually black people and Mexican people here. As a Nebraskan, stereotypically, I'm supposed to hate blacks and Mexicans. However, I grew up in the system with a bunch of blacks and Mexicans. So when I moved to Chapel, Nebraska at 15, imagine my surprise when my first real taste of white society was Chapel, Nebraska. A whole sea of white people. Not a black person in sight. Not a Hispanic person in sight. Closest that we had was Lupe Haracha. He almost looked black. And he had a Mexican name. Well, it's rather Spanish, actually. Apparently his family's been in the area since before Nebraska was a state. And everybody blamed everything on blacks and Mexicans, and there weren't any. And as an adult, being allowed to go down to the bar because I'm old enough to drink. Well, by the time I was old enough to go to the bar and drink, I'd already quit drinking, so weren't much need. Plus, I'm scared of people who are drunk. They tend to be the dumbest people on the face of the fucking planet. Having to deal with predators like Andrew Wolnez. He wants to pretend that calling me a child molester and calling me a murderer and calling me a druggie somehow makes it okay. You know, Natalie Bollinger tried pretending that I was on drugs. Who was on drugs? Natalie. Did she ever pretend that I molested her? No. Did Alicia Bollinger ever go running around pretending like I molested her? No. So where did their friend, and formerly my friend, Maddie Boa, get off running around saying shit like that? That's fucking inhumane. You don't fucking do that to a person. I had to deal with the abuse from that for over a year before Natalie got her goddamn brains blown out. By the way, when she was my friend, she wasn't just my best friend, she was my only friend. You know why Maddie Boa came and saw me? Because Natalie Bollinger asked me to. And asked her to. See, when Natalie came into my life, she'd had a crush on me for a lot of years, and I didn't even know her name. Shit, I was on my way out. I got 37 Vicodin, and I was going to go in the bathroom in Starbucks and swallow them all. And that just so happened to be when Natalie came into my life and made a difference. See, after I'd hurt my back, all my friends threw me away like I was trash. All of them. Just because I couldn't take care of myself anymore. They just kept on wanting to make suggestions over and over of shit I wasn't able to do, and they didn't give a shit. On the bright side, I'm going to start up my car. I'm going to go over to the other parking lot over there because it's a little bit safer, at least for now. A lot better lit. That guy Christian, the one who threatened to kill them youngins, started this whole battle of bullshit. all of this hell. I've heard 2 rumors about him. One of them was that he was taken to the mental hospital in Salem. The other one was that he overdosed and fucking died. The last time I talked to him, I wasn't trying to be mean to him. I was trying to get him to understand how much harm I was taking because of what he was doing when he was fucked up. Someone calling himself Samuel typed, "How's your day? Don't feel bad. God will help. Just repent." Fuck God. God can kiss my ass. If God ever got off of his fat fucking ass, we'd live in a lot better fucking world. But the thing is, God isn't gonna get off of his ass. Alright? You have free will. God put you here to decide whether or not you're gonna be a fucking pussy. Now stop hiding behind your imaginary goddamn fucking space dude. Alright? Your magic space wizard is not my fucking concern. You should have gotten a little more inventive with the name, calling yourself First Samuel or Second Samuel. That would be far more entertaining to the rest of us. Anyway, I'm gonna post the link in the description at the end of this to a video that's got at least 5 of the instances where I was assaulted by Wolnez. And in it, of course, I'm using it to record a few situations from my other phone. Having to keep 2 phones as a homeless person just fucking sucks too. Oh my God, did I get that out of there? I did, yes. Oh. I had a sliver of something in my ear. I wasn't sure if it was a sliver of something or if it was a pimple, but it turned out it was a sliver. And I just got it out, and now I'm squeezing out the pus that was behind it. Nice. Not that anyone wants to hear that. Anyway, without friends or family, I'm the number 1 person the cops want to pick up. Because they know that judges don't care, public pretenders don't care, and prosecution just loves to eat us up. And how do they do that? It's called malicious prosecution. Someone called himself VIX4 typed 60. Just so you know, there's rules about repenting. There's descriptions of what you're supposed to do, and many Christians like to just ignore that. Especially evangelicals. They're the magic little lolly princesses of the Christian world. The ones that think they're owed every goddamn thing, and they don't owe anybody anything, and when they oppress people, they're the ones being oppressed. They think that blindly hating people and blindly supporting Israel is the way to go. I absolutely don't blindly support Israel. I support Israel for a reason, and it has nothing to do with God. It has to do with Jesus' example. See, that's one thing that Muslims and Christians can both agree on Jesus was a good man. Regardless of whether or not he was the Son of God, he was a good man. All the magic and other fucking wizardry and hoopla aside, how did Jesus treat other human beings? When I read the Bible, I don't read it with the intention of believing every goddamn thing in it. Just like I didn't read Mein Kampf with the intention of believing every goddamn thing I read in it. Just like I didn't read the Quran with the intention of believing every goddamn thing I read in it. I read it with the intent of understanding the people who follow those beliefs and teachings. I read it with the intention, well, as the Hebrews were taught, pray for your enemies before you pray for yourself. Pray that they not be your enemies. I like that idea. Now this I should ask of every Israeli soldier. Pray for every soldier of Hamas that they decide not to be your enemy. Pray for every Palestinian that they choose not to follow Hamas, that they choose not to be your enemy. The Catholics believe that you did have to work your way into heaven. That doesn't mean slavery to the Almighty or to the Church. I love mashed potatoes and gravy. To the Catholics, and according to the King James Version of the Bible, we have to profess by mouth. By we, I'm not claiming myself to be Catholic. According to their belief, you're supposed to give up 10% of your earnings to the church as a tithing, a thanks to the Almighty, to be used by the church and distributed to the people. This 10% of your income as tithing is supposed to go entirely to the poor, not directly, but through services and protection of the church. You have a decent community, you make your own cheese, you make your own bread. Your 10% tithing to the Catholics would have meant, well, it's time to upgrade your community to have a windmill, possibly, or a water mill. Let's say your windmill or water mill broke. That 10% tithing would go to, well, bettering the world, of course. the Catholics believed that confession was where you would go to repent, to confess your sins. Now, the evangelicals have this belief that they're allowed to sin against others, but others aren't allowed to act the same back. The idea that they can sin without remorse for their entire lives, and they have this belief that if they pretend to believe in the Almighty at the end of their life, that they're going to go to heaven. See, Catholics, they tend to go fire and brimstone in many cases. I've been to Catholic churches. I've been to all sorts of different denominations of churches. In Catholicism, it's a bunch of structure. Bunch of kneeling, bunch of standing, bunch of sitting, bunch of standing, bunch of kneeling. It's very much a drawn-out ritual. For most other denominations, it's not quite like that, but it's got a similar ritual. And that includes an usher walking around to gather money. Whatever your tithing happens to be. But they allow poor in the church, even if you have nothing to give. What they don't do anymore is offer sanctuary. That hasn't been a thing in over 100 years here in the United States. Churches are no longer allowed to offer sanctuary. You know how horrible that is? However, the individuals within that church may do so. I don't know how many of you all have actually tried going back through my channel and look at any of those videos. And some of them I'm pretty fucking angry, but also take a look at the number of corpses behind me. And tell me I have no right to be angry. Those are my loved ones who are dead. It's not just somebody that I saw on the internet and thought the story was interesting. It's not something where I went and decided I was just gonna manufacture a bunch of people that don't exist. You've gotten to hear repeatedly Andrew Wolnez and to see his face. I don't give a fuck if you want to be recorded or not. That went right out the window the first time you tried to victimize me. After that, I can't trust you. Anyway, I better start my vehicle, or my phone really will die. I can repark it till 11. I do absolutely have to be thankful for Mr. Malcolm coming to my rescue today. He offered me assistance like I was a little old lady. Thank goodness. I know it's not manly or glamorous, but yeah, I'm not allowed to defend myself. And it's hard for me to protect my friends and family from the position that I live in. I've had so many people tell me, Sean, you need to fix this and you need to fix that. In situations that they created. Meanwhile, they have friends and family. Many of them, what they're wanting me to do is take down evidence that they did wrong shit to me. Some of them even promise that they'll help if I take that stuff down. Well, you promised to help to begin with, and you didn't do it. And now you want to blackmail me into destroying evidence? Not gonna fucking happen. See, that's the thing about these internet nut jobs. It had nothing to do with right and wrong. It had to do with entertainment and, of course, me absolutely needing help. I was interactive entertainment. Meanwhile, my predators, like Waylon Lolatai, he is still free. He's not my only predator, though. You know, he hurt a lot of homeless people on camera. He also harmed a black college student who looked like a homeless person. That being Zayd Atkinson. He also assaulted another black man who lived in a house named Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. Well, I guess he didn't actually assault Zayd Atkinson. He pulled a shotgun on Zayd Atkinson. What did Zayd Atkinson get out of it? $125,000. 128, something like that. What did Samuel Leon Lawrence IV get out of being assaulted by Waylon Lolatai? $95,000. What did I get for being assaulted by Officer Waylon Lolatai? All of my money spent trying to defend myself from that son of a bitch. Defend myself from false allegations. On the bright side, I'm a mean son of a bitch. You don't fuck with my family. That's some goddamn bullshit. And hell yes, I'll speak up. Every goddamn time I'll speak up. You don't threaten my fucking family. And there's all these people who don't seem to understand that. I didn't threaten to kill your fucking families. You're just shitty fucking people. You fucking bully me and bully me and bully me and bully me. And I'm not allowed to react in any way whatsoever. You pretend like if I ignore the abuse that it magically won't be abusive anymore. That's fucking stupid. On so many fucking levels. I'm thankful for the people that work here at the Safeway for helping me out how they have. They may not understand the situation, but that doesn't mean that I hate them. And of course, Mr. Malcolm, he is my hero for today. They've told me a few times to come inside if he's doing that stuff, or anybody else for that matter, and I have gone inside, because if, like they say, you know, if he does it inside, it's a different story. Also, Mr. Walnez already knows that. Let me make sure I left enough room for that guy to open his door. Oh, I'd give him a couple more inches. Ah, fuck it. He's got room. He's got plenty. Also, I gotta go to the bathroom. Ooh. And I got $5 for either gas or coffee. Sometimes somebody will give me money and tell me to buy a beer with it. I usually go down and buy pot with it at the dispensary because I don't drink beer. And then the pot just sits here next to me. Like, fuck, it's eventually, in this weather, gonna get moldy. The last few times people have given me money to get beer, though, I told them I was gonna waste it on coffee. I did have a guy once come up to me and tell me he was gonna give me $100 as long as I promised to spend it on vagina and cocaine. I told him I wasn't interested in either one, and he kept his money. The first time I ever got $100 kickdown, it was my very first time ever actually sitting down and practicing with a violin, and I practiced for 3 days straight. And everybody was telling me to shut up, knock off that racket, quit that wailing. But at the end of 3 days, I could play anything I could hear in my head, so after that, people gave me money. But I didn't have my violin for very long. It got stolen at the homeless shelter in Boulder by the staff that worked there. Well, I bought something earlier. I'll probably have to buy something again, but I gotta go get the bathroom code. And if I see Christy, I'm gonna let her know Mr. Malcolm come through for me today. I mean, I try not to have meltdowns over this shit. I mean, you got no idea. And I know for certain that my back is gonna hurt like a motherfucker. But I also know that right now, I had so much pain jolt through my back and so much adrenaline pumping through my body. I gotta consider myself lucky that I'm not feeling anything right now. But I know for a fucking fact tomorrow's gonna be hell. Also, Gary, even though he didn't show up today, he did message me, and hopefully tomorrow's another day. Hopefully I'll make more money for gasoline because I really want to clean up that camp. And yeah, I get it, most of that trash isn't mine up there anymore. I've already brought down probably close to a dozen bags of garbage. Well, actually more than that, because there was a couple of times I brought at least 4 or 5. But some of it is mine. A lot of it that was in the bags that were torn open, that was mine. And they weren't torn open, by the way. Somebody picked them up and dumped everything out of them, which is different. That's not to say it wasn't already a mess. And the thing that sucks about that is that, like, they did that with my garbage. Now, Gary's gonna help me get my stuff into storage tomorrow. Hopefully. I gotta make sure I put that part in there. Hopefully. Because life happens. Anyway, I want to share that chicken with somebody, but I don't know who. These folks who are being good to me here at Safeway, they are being good to me. They're being real nice at least. The parts that they don't understand, one of them could get a wild hair up their ass and have it be more than a passive interest and actually ask. The most wonderful question to hear out of any of them is, could you show me? Especially when they're right there in person. Could you show me? Yeah. Yeah, I can. It's a lot easier to do in person than it is over the internet. That's one of the things about being homeless that sucks so much. One of the things that makes it so easy to take advantage of us. Come on. Someone calling themselves Iconic Ice 45 typed, hi, how are you today? I'm pretty shitty. I got assaulted, and it's a guy who's assaulted me repeatedly. Of course, I've been dealing with people harming me since before Natalie was killed. I mean, people have basically taken advantage of me my entire life, but you know, I get tired of people trying to bully me into moving. Iconic Ice 45 typed OMB. Sorry, man. It's all good. Tomorrow's gonna be my birthday. I have historically shitty birthdays. We'll hope this one is different. Hell, maybe tomorrow Jesus will come down from the heavens and my older brother will call me and tell me he's sorry for being shit for a brother and tell me he loves me. Maybe Alicia Bollinger will get on publicly and say, hey man, Sean didn't do that shit. Maddie Boa fucking lied. Maybe Shanty Claus and the Keister Bunny will hop out of a magic lamp with Aladdin and his little pet monkey. We can maybe all fucking day. But the fact is, maybes are all fantasy. And I've had to deal with people's fantasies in their fucking heads about situations they weren't there for. Since well before all this shit started. All my life, whoever wanted to victimize me could. And they could play on the mentally ill tag. And a lot of folks want to pretend that it's different today than it was in the 1980s. No, it's not. Oh my god, chicken. Yes. I love chicken. So much. I only have this chicken because somebody who works here at the Safeway took pity on me and bought me chicken for dinner. Does it mean that I'm ungrateful that I'm speaking up about predators? No. Hells yes. Oh my god, yes. If I ran to a hobo, I'm gonna make me some of it. Oh yeah. And as long as we're on unrealistic wants, there's lots of people that wish that Natalie Bollinger was still alive. I'm only partially one of them. I'm also glad that her pain has ended. Her dad will never get to rape her again. Neither will her Uncle Troy. Neither will Tim Beeson. She won't have to live with the shame of choosing drugs over friends and family. She doesn't have to feel that pain. Tim Beeson doesn't get to hold her down and scream in her face and tell her she can have the dog back when she takes him back. Natalie Bollinger stated outright what her predators did. Actually did. Her father, Tim Beeson, her Uncle Troy, even her own mother. When she sent me that email back in 2016 about her family, what do you think the chances are that that had a lot to do with her having Joseph Michael Lopez blow her brains out? What did she admit to in that email? Her dad beating on her? Trying to kill her ex-stepmother? Stomping her into the curb until they thought she was dead? Him getting drunk and beating on her and her sister? That's not all that was in there. For her, that was private stuff. She didn't want everybody to know. Either that or it was bullshit and lies. And she didn't want anybody to believe that she'd said those things. In either event, she's a fucking corpse now. You know, in a good world, a loving world, this supposedly Christian world, I don't see Christians running anything that I want to be a part of. You know what repenting means? Repenting means professing by mouth. That means admit that you fucked up. Hell, you might not have sinned at all. You just made a mistake. Fess up to it immediately and fucking get to work on a solution. But no, nobody wants to fess up to their own shit these days, do they? How often to admit I fucked up? And how I fucked up, too. I fucked up by believing anybody actually gave a shit. Bugs are just better typed PG. PG. What the fuck for? Please, no cussing. If you're a child, you better get off my fucking channel. If you're offended by cursing, you're probably in the wrong place. I curse for a reason. Same reason I speak up. Because it's important to be heard. Let me explain to you how it works. If you see a man raping a little girl, right? Is it your fault that he raped that little girl? No. But if you say nothing and do nothing, then every person that he rapes and every time that he rapes after that is your fault for saying nothing, for doing nothing. Your silence is violence. It's not violence for you, it's violence for others. So many people told me, I'm sorry, Sean, my hands are tied. No, your hands aren't tied. You're holding on to the rope, and people's necks are dangling at the other end. Together we are mighty. Of course, divided people are easily conquered, are they not? If you get the victims being dumbasses and going at each other's throats instead of going after their actual predators, well, hell, you've already won the war, haven't you? Look at how much it's cost. This person calling themselves Pugs are just better typed Nick 30. Alright. Well then I don't understand why you're so easily offended. You're 30 years old, you've heard these words. It's not like someone's holding a gun to your head or forcing you to watch this channel. I live in the real world where people curse, where people commit absolute butchery every day. I don't live in Disneyland. Let's hope they'll let me use the bathroom. I'm chilly. My name's Chilly Willy. I'm frozen through and through. My head is hot, my tail is cold. But what about the crocodiles who on the river Nile?
They're having an event right now going on. I can't in Cali.
They are always one so
No, you didn't hit the wrong time, I promise.
Alright,